Thank you very much, Jenna. The question is, what do you do when you can't find the perfect ottoman for your home? The answer is you bring in David Prochotko from Lemonaid Design. He is a home stager, interior designer, and apparently a handyman.
Exactly. Can you believe this, that I actually built this thing myself?
I feel bad because everybody keeps doing this to you. We keep going, you built that? You built that? You built that?
I did.
You built that?
So what I did to start off is I went to Windsor Plywood, and they are a wonderful place to go to for lumber, for cutting, for wood trims. I've done segments on moldings and such. Right?
Yes, because they actually cut this to form for you.
Exactly. I gave them dimensions, so I only ended up using half a sheet of MDF, or a medium density fiber board, a ½ inch thickness, and I was able to get all these pieces that you see here. So about 9 pieces, and I used 6 pieces to build the ottoman itself. Okay, so
walk us through. So we get Windsor Plywood to cut our MDF for us.
So you turn on the creative machine, you say how big of an ottoman do I want, then you sort of draft up your dimensions, have them pre-cut for you there for minimal cost, and then it's all in the sort of your creativity. So the one I did, you can see, is very neutral. I did bring in, a bit of you know, crazier fabric or whatever, and that would also, you could sort of see in the ottomans that we featured in the first segment. So using my brad nailer or nail gun, I simply glued some simple wood glue. You'll need that. Glued the box together.
Wood glue and some nails when we make a box. Good. Okay.
A nice dense 2-inch piece of foam on the top of my ottoman here.
Just this stuff here?
That's the batting.
Okay, so that's the batting inside.
Batting, on the top. The top has a piece of foam on the top. There we go. So you can see there, it's a nice dense piece of foam, and the whole thing is then wrapped in the batting, just to give it that soft upholstered look.
And add a little different dimension.
Yeah. So then, and then from there, I mean, it's a little bit crude on the inside, but no one really is going to look inside there, are they? Right?
Well, but even then, you've done a fine job. Everything looks plumb, and I love that I don't have to be able to sew. I can just fold and staple.
Exactly. If you look closely, you can see my staples. But if you got sort of better at it, this is draft number 1. There you go. This is draft number 1, but maybe next time I would have put the staples a little bit further in and then hidden them with this other piece of wood, which I must confess that I had to cut a little bit smaller to fit, because now you can see it fits in nice.
That's another measurement you got to remember.
Okay, so once you're done that, then it sort of gets down to the finishing. So with my very neutral fabric, I chose to go with the nail head detail. I picked those up downtown at Marshall's, or Mitchell's, Mitchell's Fabrics downtown. The fabric came from Marshall's though, the discounted fabric store. So about $10 in fabric here. Few dollars in upholstery tax, which you just can hammer in yourself, and you'll get better at it. You can see that you know, as you sort of work with them, you'll figure out how to space them out, and so on and so forth. But then I'm still finding that I might want to add a little bit more bling, so I brought in a couple of handles. This one I didn't unwrap because I ended up finding it a little too industrial. And I think I'm going to opt with this, and I'm going to actually install that now on the side, just to add a little bit of extra bling.
Another way to make it kind of yours and make things change. You can even look at the other side too. When it comes to, as we said, ottomans are not only good looking, they're functional as well. You can do casters on the bottom. So one's a little bit smaller, more for function, but if you want to sort of pump up the look, I keep going back to Restoration Hardware. They feature some crazy, funky industrial looks. You could get some really massive, big casters and throw that on the bottom. Quickly, we've been able to tie this in, and it's lovely, into a more complete bedroom as well. We've got a couple pictures of a headboard that
taking that same idea of how to do the lid of the ottoman, you can see by repeating it several times over, you end up giving yourself the opportunity for a headboard. And you're again only limited by the dimensions of that square. Here, this one shows rectangles, for example, so it's long and linear. You're only limited again by your imagination.
If you were limited by your imagination, then we know someone who can help you out. He's got imagination to spare, and he's very handy. I shouldn't be so surprised as I am, but you built that.
You should see some of the things that I've built, Jeremy. You'd be apparently surprised.
If you want to get a hold of David at Lemonaid Design, just go to breakfasttelevision.ca. You're going to take a break. There's still plenty to come today on BT. You built that? I built it. You built that. I built it. Let's check it.